Hi there, Glenn Martin Photography, and today I'm going to be showing you how I mat my prints, where these prints I sell at markets and online, either as a matted print or a matted print in a frame. What I have for you today is a 10-inch by 15-inch print of an aerial above a salt lake in South Australia. That's quite pink, Lake Bumbunga. I think I'm saying that right. I'll probably put something up there to say the right thing. This is the print itself. See that there? This print is on Hanamule PhotoRag 308. It's one of my favourite papers for landscape prints, in particular where there's a lot of texture. So the Hanamule PhotoRag 308 just has this really lovely subtle texture, and you can see in this where we've got all of that interesting stuff going on the ground, all the lines and the ripples, and there's tools and mess down there. And a textured paper just helps give it a slightly extra dimensionality, a little bit more depth. This was printed on an A3 Plus sheet, but I have trimmed the sides already, so it will fit into the mat properly. If you do get yourself a cutter, personally I don't like the guillotine style, especially if you go cheap. With anything like this, try not to go cheap. But I actually use a rototrim, which is like a slide cutter, and I've cut thousands of prints with that thing and it's still going strong, cutting a very, very clean edge. Now this print is going to go into a mat, and this is a mat with a 10 by 15 inch opening, and it's suited for a 16 by 20 inch frame. 16 by 20 because that is a really common frame size. You'll get it at just about any frame shop. What I like about this mat is that it's already pre-built, ready to slip the print in. So we've got the acid-free back and front, and we've got these little adhesive strips. So hopefully you can see that there, the little yellow strips. So what we'll do is get our print, making sure it's going in the right way up. And trust me, some of these abstracts, even I've turned myself around, matted something upside down, or more to the point, put it in the frame upside down, which means I have to get it out again. So I'm just lining up this print so the mat covers it entirely. I deliberately overprint these to 10-15. So normally when you've got a hole of 10 by 15 inches, if you print the image to 10 by 15, the mat will generally encroach by about 1/2 centimetre over the printed area. So that just gives us some nice clean lines. Now that I've got it in there and straightened up, I'm just going to do another little check. Yep, we're all looking good. I can take the gloves off now. These are just plain 100% cotton gloves. It helps keep the acid and oils away from the print, giving it even longer life. Now when you pull these strips out, make sure to kind of come out from the side. Don't pull it up because it'll rip and leave a chunk of paper inside. So once you've done one with your glove, just give it a good push down, and a clean white glove, it's not going to mark this mat. And I've used a nice classic white mat, goes with just about everything. And now we'll get the other side. So same again, just pulling the strip out directly in line with the mat so it doesn't try to tear off inside. Give that a little wipe. So I'm just pushing very firmly, getting that adhesive to activate and stick. Now before I put it in a little protective casing, I'm going to sign it. Now I sign my prints with Stapler Pigment Liner 0.7. That's the size 0.7. Pick them up at Officeworks or any stationery shop. I do like to have a sacrificial mat if I haven't signed anything for a little bit, just to do a quick test run, because sometimes the texture of the mat will catch at the pen and you don't quite have the right flow, and because I am using a pen, I can't wipe it out. This pen also, by the way, is acid-free, so all of the elements surrounding your print, acid-free is really important for extra longevity. Things don't bleed, so the humidity doesn't affect things. So here we go. Let's see how I go on my test run. It's not too bad, but now I've got a feel for the texture. So let's do the real McCoy and hope that I don't mess it up. that will do me. That's not too bad. So now we've got my signature in there. All right, so what's next? Need to be able to protect these when you post them or if you have them out on display. So for that, I use these clear plastic sleeves. So this is also 16 by 20 inches, so it's made specifically for this mat. One of the things that I do a little differently with these, this has got an adhesive strip that'll come away. It would look nicer if I had it face down when I put the print in, because then when you go to fold it over, it would be underneath and giving us a nice clean front. But unfortunately, the adhesive is on this lip. So if you have plastic sleeves, which is the same, the risk is when the customer opens up the plastic sleeve, that adhesive is on the print side, and as it's coming out, if it catches on the paper itself in particular, could damage the print, could mark the mat. So I actually prefer to have it that side up. Easy way to put them on, because it can be a little bit unwieldy, but if you have a table, just slide the mat just so it's just off the end of the table. Sorry you can't see it from where you are, but then you get your sleeve, bring it to the mat like that, and then it'll just slide on. Nice and easy. Tuck it into the back, take the adhesive strip off, and from the middle push out to each side, because if you come from one side and push across, if you're a bit off, it can skew and then ripple and warp and doesn't look very professional. Okay, so we've got print, it's in its mat, it's in its sleeve. One last thing to do, I like to put a label on the back which gives the customer some information. So this is telling them the mat size, the image size, that this mat is designed for a 16 by 20 inch frame. It's also got my name on there because maybe this is going to be given as a gift. My website, Facebook page, and my mobile number. For consistency, I always put them top right for no other reason than that's where I did it once and that's where they're all going. So top right. And this was printed on just a Brother thermal printer that you can pick up from Officeworks. And there we go. So now we've got on the back our little frame details, and then on the front we can see the print nice and clear, and it's also protected. So it's 16 by 20 inches. It's really important to have the example for the customer of what it might look like in the frame. Now, this isn't the same image, but it's the same mat, same size mat in a 16 by 20 inch frame. So you can see very clearly what they're going to get and how it's going to look. So for these, I charge $120 for a 10 by 15 inch print in a 16 by 20 inch mat, mainly because that's what my customers will pay for it. And when you hear about these calculators for your material expenses, etc., what that often doesn't allow for is your time and your experience and your equipment. To get out to this particular lake in South Australia is a 2-day drive each way, closer to 3 days. There was a drone worth quite a bit of money up in the air taking these images. There was the accommodation along the way, the fuel in the car, the rest of the gear that I have to take with myself. So there's a lot more than just raw materials when you're calculating what you sell your prints for. So I hope you found that useful. Keep following the channel and you'll see more videos about how I earn money from my photography through different channels, one of those being printing. And yeah, I'll be happy to share. So leave your comments below. Thanks for watching.